Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Does everything seem to be fine?
Yes.
Okay. That's an automatic now. Huh? Boy, I feel good. It feels good when you start to lock it down after 7 years.
It really does.
You know what I mean?
Except for now I'm using new gear on my end. That's why I keep...
How come?
Because...
I'm sound concerned.
The original Thought Spiral Zoom recorder has left the building.
Oh, wow.
Gave us 5 good years of service.
You know, I would think that would last forever. What could go bad on it?
You know, it's the one moving part, the little disk drive.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't want, and I'm constantly taking it in and out. So.
Hey, if I had $1 for every time that my ex-wife said I was taking it in and out, because as if I'm going in and out of her.
Wow. Thank you for that hand visual.
You can't, it's not hurting, right? It's not hurting the show.
It's hurting me. It's hurting me on a lot of levels. Yeah. It's hurting hurting my soul is what it's doing.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do that.
No, back off.
Now,
my soul.
No, I don't want to get into your soul because your soul is.
It's a dark place. It's a dark place.
It's hanging by a thread.
It is.
Now here, let me ask you a question now. Right. What do you think of these less nicotine cigarettes that may be, is this fresh? Is hot off? This is as if I'm Robin on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
It just came up and I'm doing the news.
Right. It's a proposal. I just saw this before we came on as well, where they want limit the amount of nicotine, I think, in cigarettes.
And why did they show it by having looser tobacco? And the picture is of looser tobacco. Like you're going to have less tobacco, or?
I don't know.
I'm all for. I just want to say I'm all for it right now. Don't you think that's?
I'm off the cigarettes completely, so I don't really care. As long I still have my nicotine sucky pen.
Oh, okay. But I was going to ask you, just as a former person, if you wanted to weigh in and weigh in.
If I don't know. I was never as a young man, I was a bold and proud smoker. Right.
You didn't care, or you weren't worried. You were young.
I didn't care, and I wanted to look older, so it all worked out.
Oh, you're talking about the aesthetics of it.
Yes. I noticed that now when I look back at all these pictures of my teen years, and I was like making a show of the cigarettes in all these pictures.
What's the point of having it if you can't look?
I know. I was making such a show of it. What an idiot! But
I don't think that.
The last many years of smoking, though, I didn't feel proud of it. I felt like it was nicotine delivery, and once I could switch to a slightly healthier nicotine delivery, I did.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the nicotine, having the nicotine, or am I?
There probably is. There probably is. It probably elevates blood pressure. It probably does all sorts of shit. But I do know that after now years of using my nicotine sucky pen, that
what do you call it?
The nicotine sucky pen. This thing.
I know. I just like to hear it twice.
I like it because it's shaped like a cigarette still, but my lungs are totally clear now compared to when I was smoking, and I got a couple notes at the top of my singing range back.
I didn't even know that you were keeping track of your singing range. No, but I guess smoking. So smoking, which at one time
you notice when the note's not there and you try for it.
I noticed these.
Oh, geez, someone's missing.
Is it you two, or you don't have it?
No, I don't. For some reason, mine's not going. It must be very close to you. Andy, this is for you. It's coming from the house.
Wait, elderly man not talking coherently.
What the?
The elderly man seems to be losing it. Well, what is the alert going to do? Are people going to rush over here and give me some coherency?
Was that what is that, a silver alert, is that called?
Are you serious? Because it's elderly. Yeah, yes. I think you're right. I thought you were joking for a second. Yeah.
Silver fox alert is a different thing.
That's what they call Martin Sheen in that commercial where these prescriptions. I told you that I don't have a problem with the programming. I have a problem with...
My wife's Wordle score just came up and covered your face for a second there.
Is that true?
Yes, we text each other our Wordle scores each day.
That is the sexiest thing.
Isn't it? Ow.
Oh, baby.
It's better than putting it online, which I think my wife does too, but I don't.
Oh, my God. Well, your wife is, your wife does all of the things that if I did them on Facebook, I would be self-conscious about, but she's
Absolutely.
not.
My wife
she's just enjoying herself.
This is the beautiful secret of having separate social media universes in a marriage.
Exactly.
Because I know, because the shit she does on Facebook comes back to me sometimes. And I'm like, I would not have told that story. And she's pretty respectful about boundaries that she knows are hard boundaries for me.
Right.
But everything else is open book to the world.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know, or if you're not on Facebook, but if any listener out there has a way of destroying my account, that's what I've decided. I'm never going to have a Facebook account again.
You couldn't do it yourself.
I just feel like I could if there was a way of destroying it, I'd feel better that I wouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause my early sexting in 1999, I don't know. That's not when Twitter was around. What am I trying? What's the joke I'm going for?
I don't know.
You're like, that's like if you were in my brain actually operating it, you'd be like, I don't know. Don't know where he's going for.
Let's move on.
What is he doing?
Press the escape key.
Oh, boy.
It's garbage day. There goes the garbage truck. All right.
I didn't hear the garbage truck. I hope the garbage truck doesn't hit the elderly man who's missing. You know, this kind of comedy is funny. 65 degrees down. It's really get hotter, right, today?
It's supposed to be hot, but there was thunder this morning before you woke up.
Was that me and the wife?
Not so much here it was you and the wife before you woke up, indeed.
Can I ask you a question, though? Why wouldn't I just ask the question? Are we going to get snow? Here's what I got confused about. I thought we had a decent amount of rain last year. Now we're in a drought. What the hell happened?
We did not have a decent amount of rain last year.
I know. So what am I remembering?
We had that really big old week of rain in December.
And that was
it felt like, all right, bring it on. And then it never rained again.
Yeah, maybe this isn't the best area to get water. Has anyone ever thought about that? It's a desert.
It's not so water friendly anymore, no.
And also, when the water comes down, can't they hold it in a container? Just get a big container for it.
Yeah, it comes down once a year.
Oh, okay. Well, then a really big container is what I'm talking about. I'm very excited about these hearings. I know we're not supposed to talk about politics, as if you sent me a note.
No,
but, oh my God.
We can talk about politics. The rule was let's not spend all our time on Trump. Of course, the hearings do circle back to Trump, but he's not president anymore. The rule is off.
And so, as soon as you said that, I had that whole oppressive thing of the daily Trump.
Yeah.
Because a lot of bullshit artists have circular thinking, but his, meant that the whole world was almost going to die from his circular thinking.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
This guy's, and he is probably the best bullshit, the most insistent bullshit artist in the history of the world. He goes right to well, that's a scam and that's fake and this is it. But I think they really got him now.
I am grateful to Kevin McCarthy, though, for his boneheaded decision to not put anyone on the committee. Because it makes it such a pleasure to watch in terms of information being shared with America. I
couldn't have watched it if it was Jim Jordan was coming in.
I know.
You can't have a bipartisan group where half the group is going to say, our side this is bullshit.
Now, for 5 minutes of whataboutism.
And of course, the reason why they didn't do it was because they knew that they knew right from the beginning what had happened. Like McConnell he's really like the snakiest of snakes. I know he's not the worst to you.
No, he kind of is.
Because he stands literally for nothing.
Well, anything he does stand for, I oppose right off the bat.
Yeah.
But
except for Elaine Chao.
No, his attempt to do a dignified version of Craven spinelessness,
That's true.
That's what makes him so insipid, I think, is that, there's always, it's like go to the tape with Mitch McConnell any number of times. But just the fact that, like, not only is there a lack of shame, but you feel like there was like never a slot for shame in his body. It wasn't like he lost his shame. It's like he just isn't equipped with that capacity.
He never goes through like a dark night of the soul about it.
No, because you need one to have one.
Yeah, remember Trent Lott? Because Trent Lott was one of these Southern guys who he was like acted neighborly as he rounded up all the people. It's the back. Who's the guy who retired when he was dead almost, and he had the kids? Strom Thurmond. You know what? If we had done things a little bit more like Strom Thurmond had wanted, maybe we wouldn't be in this position right here. What position, Trent Lott? Do you remember when he said that?
The Confederate States of America is what you're talking about. He
said that. They had a big a party for him, a going away party, and Trent Lott was like, "Oh man!" And Trent Lott, he did have the neighborly thing that McConnell does not have.
No, McConnell
is not.
McConnell can only ape it.
And Schumer, here's the thing. I would argue, and not argue too long, I think Pelosi might be the most effective speaker there's ever been. Except Tip O'Neill, I know, is good.
Right.
But she's brilliant. She knows what she's doing.
Sam Rayburn, apparently, was quite the dynamo.
After the match game?
Yeah, no, that was his little nephew, Gene.
Hey, I was watching Columbo last night. I'm not bragging. It just comes on my cable system.
Yeah.
Is Bruno Kirby's dad?
I don't know. Does he look like Bruno Kirby?
Yeah, and he's funny.
Ah, okay.
I saw this episode of Columbo I never saw before with George Hamilton, who is rakishly handsome.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't even believe it.
No, you see why he got a career, at least. Which you couldn't always tell in the later years.
The later years, but he's still around, I think.
Yes, he is.
But he is
in the later years. You have to concede that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I saw him I think I told you I saw him about 2 years ago outside of in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And he knew the name of the person it was like he had come out for the first time in 30 years. Hello, Elroy. That's not a good name. What would be the name of somebody, a subservient man from the 20s?
Is this the valet you're talking about?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. It was at my dental office.
I don't have a catalog of subservient guys from the 20s.
Hello, Mr. Hamilton. Hello, Frederick. No, we wouldn't be named Frederick. But he was a good actor. That's the thing I didn't know. He was an excellent actor. In this particular,
I don't know that he was an excellent actor, but
no, he wasn't. He was okay.
He was a serviceable actor.
I used to love that joke.
You can't. He's never someone who transcends being George Hamilton in a part, really.
Who was the guy who did the bit? Was it George? Well, no, it's not George. Well, why? Don't mix up black people. But there's a comic who does the bit about the old days when you'd fly and all the pilots would look like George Hamilton. Whatever happened to those days.
Yeah.
DAG. It's the DAG guy, David Alan Grier.
Ah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I've ever communicated someone else's bit well.
No, not in my recollection.
Josh has this great joke, and this great joke is he says, "You know what the deal with Nancy Reagan is? Just say, why would you say that? I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you later. When I'm more with it. When would that be, though? Right? Is that what you would argue?
I might, but it'd be low hanging fruit, really.
I want to thank you once again, though, for it's like a miracle. This boom.
Oh yes, good.
It's unbelievable. For years, it seemed like 5 years. I'd be scraping my mouth against the stupid thing, and the thing itself would be sticking in my crotch. Right. You couldn't
even make those gestures you were just making before the boom, right?
Why not? I could have it steady.
Yeah, but you'd whack your hand into the.
Oh, what a terrible person! What a terrible human I was. This is a trap for you now, Josh.
Yeah.
What a terrible human I was. Oh, yeah. You know what? You were pretty. What the fuck? I draw you out. I draw you out with my vulnerability, and then I clamp it down.
I understand.
No, I don't do that, though. You know I'm very mature. You knew me back in the old days when I had the Heppardin's nodes, but I didn't have a game plan.
Why did you just put your hands like that?
You've seen them, right?
This is like Count Floyd right now. Ooh.
Ooh, kids. That to me was one of my favorite not my favorite, but one of my favorite characters is the guy who's not scary.
Yes.
Oh, kids.
Ooh, so scary. Oh.
I like that show. I like, and even I will say that I love the show, even though it doesn't make any logical sense. As I love that about you with Vanessa Bayer.
I have not seen it. It's
very funny.
Is it?
It's a takeoff on a like a home shopping network station.
Okay.
And Molly Shannon.
A workplace comedy.
What's that?
A workplace comedy.
That's how I pitched it. You know, when you say it like that, you make it sound like sitcoms are formulaic.
They're at least categorized.
Yes. There are no more sitcoms being made like CBS isn't making multi-camera.
Yeah, they are. They're still doing. They're still at the Chuck Lorre trough.
Oh my God, that Chuck Lorre. Do you think Chuck Lorre? Let's talk about Chuck Lorre because we don't care, right?
I don't really.
Wait, are you friends with him?
No, I have people who work for him.
Let me finish. If there were more people like Chuck Lorre, we'd have better shows.
Yes.
People can complain. What would you rather have? Not young? You don't want a young Sheldon? Is that what you're telling me?
My personal experience with Chuck Lorre was not a great couple of days that I did doing Punch Up for one of his pilots.
Oh, I mean, he was like unpleasant.
A little bit unpleasant.
Oh, okay. But not. Okay. Well, all the showrunners, I noticed at one time, this is actually a fact. 90% of showrunners do end up killing somebody.
Yeah.
First, they kill their staff emotionally.
It's mostly it's a crushingly difficult job.
It is, right?
Yes,
it must be terrible
it really is.
to be in that job. Well, not always, but if it's a smooth running ship.
It's all the difficulties of being a director of a film. Plus a bunch of other shit. But there's still this sort of factor of every question filters through you at some point, you know?
Right.
And you have to have an answer for so many things and then get your ass back on the thing you were working on.
I noticed that Phil didn't do a lot of letting the director direct when he was on Raymond. Yeah. And being a
TV director is a weird
different.
It's a weird gig because you're coming into someone else's house, so it's never really your set, you know.
Yeah, unless you're the big guy that they all love and they brag about.
Yeah, if you're the guy who directed the pilot, then you're generally an executive producer as well, and you know.
Andy Ackerman, not Andy Ackerman. Who wasn't I thinking of? The guy who was the son of somebody, but then he directed all of the Cheers and
James Burrows.
Yes, and his father was Abe Burrows.
Ah.
I like that one. What would cause that sound?
It's the wake apnea.
Wake apnea. I want that new sleep apnea. You've seen the commercials are so great for it. The guy's like, he takes an electronic thing. Yeah. He has he doesn't have any more of the masks. He just has this electronic thing. He wakes up and he goes,
yeah, there's a remote control device. And I don't know if it's opening the nasal passage.
It has to do something with electronic stimulation. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know if it's electrostim or if it's a device. I mean, I guess it's a device either way, but.
I know what you mean, though. It sounds so good, but I just have a feeling maybe when it's not as seen on TV, I'll look into it.
Well, you could look on their website.
Ooh. That's it.
Would you do that, though? Would you get a surgical implant of some sort rather than use a CPAP?
I didn't know that's what you were talking about.
What? Would you go on a website?
No, I thought you meant a contraption. Not a planting device. Not a thing like, we stuck a heart monitor in your. What do they call those? Heartbeat deciders?
Well, they have a defibrillator, or they have a pacemaker.
Nobody has a defibrillator in there all the time.
Yes, they do. Of course they do.
They do?
Yes.
Isn't that electric? Oh, I'm too stupid to have this conversation.
No, my father-in-law had one for years. And it's a great fucking upgrade as far as I'm concerned. Because if your heart stops, it shocks you.
I think that's great. Cut out the middle.
I used to do a bit of my act about it. It's like an amazing device. He goes to the doctor, and doctor takes a readout, goes, "Oh, you died 3 times last month. Nice work."
That's I'm not saying I'm the bravest person in the world, because I don't think I am. You've said it before. But I would not do well if I get a heart condition.
I think
that has symptoms.
Yeah. Why? Because you keep doing Red Fox?
Yeah. I'd be worse than Red Fox. Not worse than Red Fox. I wouldn't be funnier than him, but I'd be more whiny. It'd be like a hypochondria. I don't know. I don't want a heart attack.
Keep walking.
No.
Keep walking. You're doing fine.
That's true. The walking will help me.
Yes.
Nothing can happen bad now, Josh. You just
I am a walker. I'm impervious to disease.
Oh. I had a very lovely time last week walking with Gary Goldman.
Oh, that's right. You teased that last week. How was it?
It was really fun. And I know that there's a little part of me that wants to brag and then nobody cares. But I had a world record, 7.2 miles I walked that day.
Wow.
I walked a mile to see him.
Uh-huh.
Then we walked, and I planned it out good. I don't know if I told you this. I planned it out that if he doesn't seem to have the same problems I have with my bladder. He's 50.
Yeah.
So I explained to him, we're going to walk by, so if you need to go to the mall or I need to go to the mall, it's there. He looked at me like, get the hell away from me, old man. Right.
You're the next notch up in terms of aging from us.
I know. That's really, it's like you don't have any of the symptoms yet, and you may never get the symptoms.
I probably will. I probably will. But.
Of the going problems and the growing problems.
Right.
So, but it was so much fun to walk with somebody, and boy, do I tell a good story. But no, I just think it was like I didn't even know that Gary Goldman doesn't live here. He lives in New York. He lives.
Yes.
He's just out here, and I thought that Alex. I'm so not quick on the uptake. I thought Alex was going to walk with us. But Alex, turns out, he also lives in New York.
Yes.
Oh, I have not heard from Montreal, so I assume that's a bad sign.
Okay, well then I'm out.
You know what I mean?
If we don't know by now.
No, you can't go out before they don't have it.
I can't write that many jokes in 2 weeks.
I know. That's why I think it has to be gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it was Zoe.
I mean, I can write that many jokes, but it can't be about the topic that you want.
Well,
I can't drum up. I can't drum up hatred for a half hour's worth of people right? in that short a time.
Well, if they pull the trigger today, maybe we'll do. I don't know. It just seems ridiculous because they were last Thursday. I had to tell them immediately. Are you ready to do this? And
right.
I haven't heard. So when you don't hear in 5 days.
Yeah, usually yeses come fast and nos come slow. Is
right.
My showbiz motto.
And I'm still happy about not going anywhere yet, though.
That's good.
I mean, boy, it's like
you're doing it well.
I think, except for the losing the sense of days.
Yeah, but I've got that going on too,
well.
and I'm actually going in the things that are scheduled. But I still spend half the time not. It doesn't feel like a Tuesday. Doesn't feel like.
I know. Right. But we're also.
I've been to my trainer already today.
How'd that go?
It's good. It feels good to be back in the Pilates saddle.
Is it the same trainer, different area?
Same trainer, different place. Yeah.
And further away.
Yeah, but not far.
Yeah. So, Pilates. That guy was his name Pilates?
Yes.
No.
There was a Pilates.
Oh, it was Pilates. Yes. Yeah. I think he was on.
He was circus folk.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Could he do anything for someone who fell off a trapeze 100 yards?
No, but a pogo stick.
Oh, can you believe it? You said that, and I felt a little vibration in my lower back. I smell the Jacob Javits Center whenever I think about it. Well, because it's really like...
And taste copper.
Taste copper. It's one of those things where I wouldn't go to the toy fair anyway on my own.
Right, I would hope not.
Right?
Yes.
So then, once you have an injury like that, it becomes a nightmarish looking situation.
Yes.
All the toys. I keep thinking about the 2 or 3 jokes I did before the thing, which was somebody from Hong Kong. And I said, I'm from Hong Kong. I'm big in Hong Kong. I'm Hong Kong Andy. And I just was so funny.
You're literally big in Hong Kong.
Yeah, literally big. So, because literally nothing had been funny until I got hurt.
Yeah. It was really, really funny. There was just no way around it. I still feel a little bad, but not as much as I feel amused.
Well, the thing is,
and they were so brilliant because it was the sound guy that gave us all permission to laugh. The sound guy who couldn't stop laughing just opened the floodgates.
He really did feel bad.
I would think so. I would, if I was there and was doing the same thing, I'd feel bad and also couldn't stop.
Sorry, he goes, sorry, Andy.
And on the other side of the ledger, I probably would have tried the pogo stick myself too.
Oh, yeah. That, when I think back of it, is like, it's like saying, oh, yeah, I'll try to fly a plane. I mean, I didn't even know what I was doing. I don't know how it works.
Right.
I've never been on a pogo stick. We didn't have that in Queens.
Yeah, I had a pogo stick, and even without the hydraulic motor in it, it was still a death trap.
Oh, why do they have them? I didn't know they were that dangerous. I should have, because you're hopping up and down on the thing.
On one thing.
My cousin had stilts. I tried that, but that's really hard.
We had stilts.
I guess you can.
One of the kids in our neighborhood had stilts. It was also the same house that had a trampoline. And he was an insurance agent. Stilts were hard, yeah. But I would say I also had a unicycle thing going for when I was 12 maybe.
Oh, wow. That's hard.
It's really hard, yeah.
Because you're constantly going back. You're constantly falling in every possible direction.
Well, no, it's kind of like, I mean, I wasn't I couldn't do forward, back, sit in one place.
Right.
It's simply a matter of,
I see.
You just have to go forward. It's like you're falling forward and you have to outrun the fall.
And when you fall, it's got to be hard, right? If you
it is, but there's nothing in front of you, so you can get your feet out pretty easily. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you pull a Biden.
What did you say?
You pull a Biden.
Well, I don't know. Is this a new story?
He went down on his bike the other day.
Oh, but what was the thing that they manipulated about it or something?
I don't know.
Who cares? Right?
I can only imagine.
Yeah. But those things where you did risky things as kids, I did a lot of those things. I played ice football in the winter.
Yeah.
So we're playing tackle football. We're 11 or 12 or however we are, but it's on ice.
Yeah.
You hit your head a couple of times. Well, actually, the second time you don't mind.
I've had probably 3 ice-induced concussions from my childhood.
It's the scary. Well, that's the thing where I think I could not have been a parent. I just couldn't have done it. It's just too many things like that. I would have just sat down all day and would have stopped. All I would do would have stopped them from doing fun things.
Right.
Sometimes it's good to have dodged a bullet. If you have OCD.
You just sit there going, I see dead people.
Well,
Speaking of which, we have a memorial service for my mother-in-law this weekend.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
So she died about a year ago? 2 years ago?
A year ago.
And so this is the first, this is the first where everyone's together.
Yeah, it was just too COVID-y at the time.
Yeah, and
not that it isn't pretty darn COVID-y now, but we're going for it anyway.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to do one for my sister, although my brother did a very lovely thing. He put a rose garden in at the Quaker Meeting House in honor of my mom.
That is lovely.
So that's sweet. That is some sweet stuff. But I don't think we're going to
have... Did you do a gag with it? I promised you a rose garden thing.
Yeah, well,
delivered.
Certainly. A rose by any other name would be dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Joan loved roses. Now she's dead. That's good. I like the start. But he also made
the Yellow Rose of Queens.
But he made a lovely, like a thing. It was so pretty, like a little plaque that goes in the rose garden.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Did he make it himself, like your mom always liked? Or did he have it made?
No, my mom loved. In fact, my mom looked forward to dying, she said, because she wanted to hear, because my brother was into making the handmade tombstones.
All right.
And she's like, whew, I'm looking forward to that. I used to hate death when I was a little kid, like all the things like, why would you go to a funeral? But now that you're adult and you see, you still don't understand.
Right. Now you're just going in the hopes that they'll come to yours.
Well, that's true. I never
but it
had
doesn't work out that way.
I know, because you wouldn't know. If there's a way to know how people are acting at my wedding, I'll figure it. My funeral, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? If anybody can do it, it's me.
Sure, absolutely.
Look at Josh. Can't wait to go out and hit the old...
They lower you to the ground and everyone shovels a little grudge onto your casket.
You shovel a little grudge and you can hear everybody's gripe.
Right.
Everyone's last gripe as they go up.
It's a total Tom Sawyer fantasy for you.
I feel bad, Josh, that I haven't read any of Mark Twain, and he's like one of my favorite people.
That's okay. You were just an American lit major. Huh?
What's that face you're making? What's the face? No, I was English lit major.
Ah, okay.
Well, what the fuck does that mean? But who are we talking about? I'll use my one thing.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Yeah, I like that part of the Val Kilmer thing where he was doing Twain.
Oh, I thought he was doing a Hal Holbrook one-man show.
That's a great idea for a show, to do Hal Holbrook. To me, Hal Holbrook is the symbol. Both William Wyndham and Hal Holbrook is a symbol of a certain kind of communicator from my childhood.
Right.
I don't know why I compared them together, but why not?
Like the Trent Lott of the theater.
You know, and I just want to say here, I hope we're all amongst friends here, that if Strom Thurmond had got his way and slavery had continued, it would be a much better country today. Don't you all agree with me on that? It was called, what was this group called? The Civil Fathers, the group that Trent Lott was part of. It didn't sound like Ku Klux Klan, but it was similar.
The Confederacy? I don't know.
No. It was actually called the
Honky Cabal.
It was like the Fathers. The word fathers are in it.
Founding Fathers?
I can't be that stupid. I mean, what is it? It's the something fathers. What is
fathers
that?
of prevention?
You know, why do I don't want to say that, but I love Dire Straits. I love that Mark Knopfler so much.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a million songs.
No.
But those ones he has, I just fucking love them. And I love the way he plays guitar.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think anybody plays guitar like he does. And is he using a volume pedal? How's he getting like...
I don't know, but I'm just having a hard time fathoming how we just jumped to Mark Knopfler.
Yeah, good point.
It was a little...
Oh, okay, so Val Kilmer, he did the thing. But Mark Twain, I mean, I like that thing.
Was it Mark Twain to Mark Knopfler? Was that the thing?
Probably. But that would be too much, giving me too much credit for, what's the word? Coherency?
Yeah.
Who's Samuel Leghorn? Oh, Samuel Clemens.
Yes.
Yeah. But it is ironic, though, that they have that Mark Twain award and then someone like Leno gets it. That's irony, right?
Yeah.
I thought I'd rescue myself by getting back into Leno.
There you go.
What is he? Is he still doing the?
But just to put a button on it, I like Mark Knopfler too.
Right. Well, I was thinking about my favorite guitarist the other day.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
Who is your very favorite guitarist? I don't have one, by the way.
You know who my favorite. I would think you would know this. Maybe not.
Dylan?
Jerry Garcia is my favorite guitarist.
Right. Okay.
Lead guitarist.
Gotcha.
If Dylan was my favorite guitar,
he's a pretty good guitar player.
He is a good guitarist.
And is,
rhythm guitar, I like Paul Simon, I think, is my favorite. He's very good at it.
I don't think of him as rhythm guitar, though.
Oh, but he does like picking and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, which isn't really rhythm guitar.
Well, what do you call it?
I call it acoustic guitar.
Oh. No wonder why
it's very finger picking. I learned recently that he is actually left-handed.
I didn't know that.
But plays guitar.
Does he play righty?
He plays righty, which I've always went, I bet if you could get that down, that would really help you.
Yeah, it would be like who did it in tennis? I think it's Rafael Nadal did it.
Yeah.
In tennis by watching his uncle. And so he's like
I feel like I could do a lot more on the neck with my right hand. Like my left hand would be a mess. But
yeah, look.
I mean, at this point, I couldn't change. But I learned how to. There's a picture of my dad and I playing guitar when I'm a kid, and I'm sitting there playing it left-handed, which is just, an indication of how little my dad knew, really, or cared.
Was he left-handed?
No, because he's sitting there playing it correctly. But he also let me learn how to shoot pool left-handed without correcting it ever.
Wow. Well, but was your dad? See, my dad
that's the only left-handed thing I do is shoot pool.
My dad did not teach me. He said, let's go out and flip the old apple, but he never taught me anything about how to swing a bat or anything like that.
My dad was sort of viral with those sorts of things. It would sort of, for a while, he was like a Cub Scout, a den mother for my brother's Cub Scout troop, and he was, he would get involved, and he did great books at school. He taught little great books classes.
That's cool.
But occasional catch, occasional fishing, occasional, those sorts of things. But he was, they were good at taking us places on the weekends to do stuff, And we had had a sailboat too, so that was sort of the default weekend thing.
Boy, it must be nice to be so fucking rich like you were growing up with that goddamn sailboat. It's unbelievable. And you don't even talk about it. You're the real rich brother.
That's right, exactly. You should get on my good side.
I don't ever think about that. I don't ever think about being nice to you.
No.
Because you'll, spring me some money or something.
Right.
Well, that's not who I am. I think we can say that of all the things that are wrong with me, I'm certainly a very wonderful human.
Yeah, you aren't one of those money-grubbing Jews.
You know what I like about Andy and Josh? They don't seem to be constantly talking about how much they love money. And I think it's refreshing. All I want to watch is true crime. And then I'm tired of it. What is there a new genre of things I can watch? I'm sick
I don't
of
know if there's an actual new genre, but
you mean like action adventure rom-com?
Right. Have you watched the Kids in the Hall? Yeah.
Yes, I did. I thought it was. I actually made me laugh very hard when they were naked, and I wouldn't normally laugh at a bit like that. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. I did notice. I only watched the first two.
Yeah.
A lot of dick jokes.
A lot of dick. A lot of dick. A lot of death. A little bit of shit. But
yeah. But I like their death stuff. I like how they're aging. That stuff kills me. You know how they show themselves?
Yes.
It's very funny to me.
Yeah, it's on that level. It's absolutely self-aware. And I watched 7 out of 8 of them, and I think they had about four shows worth of really good stuff so far. But
the first show was hilarious.
Yeah,
the beginning of the first show. Yeah,
it's sort of front loaded, I would say. But I think they did a good job of sort of being both current and familiar. It's pretty, it's it does feel like the 9th season of Kids, or it does feel like a season of the old show, as opposed to in a natural way, as opposed to a sad, nostalgic way. There's nothing sad about it, which is right off the bat. That's a victory.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was riveted right from the beginning because I love those guys, and it also made me feel like the best sketch show type things. I think the best ones are hard to watch. I think even Mr. Show I loved it, but I didn't watch all the seasons, and I didn't watch all the seasons of Saturday Night Live either. I mean, I watched it as it was happening,
right.
But it's hard to, if you say, today I'm going to start binge watching sketch shows. Right. It's a hard format, and they did an amazing job of, we love these people. Like, we love them,
right.
Scott, and their personalities transcend the sketch, yes. Like Scott Thompson, his history with the group or whatever. I mean, it's not so much inside jokes, but I think more than not more than, but up there with any great sketch group thing, their personalities mesh nicely.
Yes.
Okay, stop me.
Yes. No, I thought that, I agree. Yeah. It felt like they wanted to be there.
I also like the jokes about where they were, where are they on?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
That was the one big choice they made that wears thin is the Lorne Michaels impression for the big cheese guy.
Oh,
because Mike Myers has already used that impression for Dr. Evil, and
right.
So it kind of feels impression of impression at this point.
Yeah. I guess if you work with that guy that long, it would be bouncing around your head.
Oh, I would think, if you worked for him, everybody would always be talking like him always when he's not there.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a true story, but that story about Dana Carvey and Paul McCartney, meeting Paul McCartney and Lorne Michaels, and then he says to Lorne Michaels, when he's in the bathroom, he's so charming. And then Lorne Michaels goes, do you think he's more charming than me? How could that be a true story? It doesn't even sound like a true story, does it? It doesn't even you don't even think it's a story.
I don't really, but
yeah.
But the way you were telling it, I had to try to assign names to people quickly about who was talking about who and all that. So.
Well, it's like the story about Lena, where do you believe that someone said, I heard you, I just got back from Europe. I hate that town. See? It's true about him.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have said it. I don't believe that he said it out of ignorance. Thinking it's a town.
Yeah. So because he's not stupid.
No, he's not stupid.
That's not why I just.
No, he's soulless. He's soulless.
He's soulless. He's a very sad case. Not that it matters, but a guy who could write some of the funny. I still love the joke. McDonald's is hiring senior citizens as part of their cradle to the grave minimum wage program.
Yeah.
I love all those type of jokes, but there's no there behind the personality. There's no
depth. There's absolutely no depth to him as a person now. There's almost a belligerent resistance to showing any depth.
And I don't feel that way about, I feel like I know Letterman. He's grouchy and,
yes,
but we shouldn't compare those two.
It's been done.
How's that show later with? No, it's not happening. Who's that one guy who's been around forever, but we never remember who he is? And he has that show late at night.
Carson Daly.
What's that?
Carson Daly.
Yes. That's gone now, I think.
I think his late night show is gone. Yes.
Right.
But I'm not certain of that, but I'm pretty sure it is.
And then, it's amazing to me how these talent shows keep going. I guess they just don't have to have great ratings.
Well, he hosts one of those. He hosts The Voice.
Yeah. Really is, I'm starting to get tired of talent shows, I've decided. Thank you, Josh.
And
Still couldn't do it.
I think you need to combine the two into one great kill zone talent show.
Your doggies are so, you never know with your doggies, right? Why are they so quiet? We don't know. Is Monday a quiet day?
Well, it's Wednesday, first of all. And
oh, my God. I don't know. See, I would not ever in a million years have told that it's Wednesday. I thought it was Monday because, we have a set appointment for Monday mornings.
Yes, indeed.
I'm very funny. I waited that long. I'm very funny, and I waited very long for my snide comment. And it wasn't even that snide.
It wasn't that snide.
Yeah.
It was just a scab picker.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the scab pickers. Hey, how's it going? Hey, are you still? Hey, we got a lot of our friends here tonight. Hey, Al, are you, how's the cancer? That's all I could come on.
I did a Seinfeld thing with my trainer this morning. She was like, watch out for the side leaning. And I was like, that sounds like something from the side. Did you just side lean me? He side leaned you. He's side leaning me. He did the side lean?
I would love that bit. A bit on a show where they would, it's not his fault, but he is a caricature. His stand-up sounds caricature-ish to me. Like, no one's ever going to go Andy Kindler style and deliver the voice.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, he's been around almost 50 years now.
He's doing good.
So you go, I mean, how is it different than like a fucking Jimmy Cagney or a Jolson impression?
It's true.
I mean, he's literally been around. It's almost 50 years since his first TV spot.
Well, I'm thinking about these guys like Billy Crystal and Billy Crystal. Why is he so bitter? Why would he be bitter? He's not a wonderful. Why are you talking? What's that?
I don't think he is bitter. I don't know that he's necessarily pleasant, but I don't think he's bitter.
No, he's an unpleasant person. He's clear because I met him and he's completely unpleasant, as advertised.
Yeah, I've witnessed him and he seemed unpleasant, but I've never actually interacted with him.
And he's his 40,000 Sundays is still. I don't understand how these people.
No, he's not doing 40,000 Sundays. He's doing Mr. Saturday Night now.
Oh. Wait, it's a stage show.
Yes.
It's a stage show, okay.
Now without latex.
Wouldn't you at a certain age go, why am I fucking around with all this? Why would I do that? I guess you love the theater or something. I mean, it sounds so boring to me. Theater sounds boring to me. And it was when I did the same show every night.
Yeah, but how is that much different than a stand-up act?
Because stand-up act is more enjoyable. It's different and it changes.
Well, because it's all about you, yeah.
Well, I guess I've never got into the. Well, I was into the theater as an undergraduate at the school, so I was in a lot of plays.
Right, but have you ever
turned me on.
Have you ever done a long run of it as an actor?
Just at school.
No,
and that's
but I mean like a long
run.
Yeah.
No, I think it sounds terrible to me. But it's not if you're into it.
I think, I mean, it would totally depend on what role you had, really, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm allergic to routine, so it sounds pretty bad to me, too. But I could see if I had like a juicy lead piece of meat to chew on every night and find nuances in, I could get into it for a while.
Yeah, well,
also, I'd have to be a good actor.
Well, you are a good actor.
I'm not so good, but
you can't go by yourself.
I'm unexciting as an actor. How about that?
You can. Your view of yourself is not the way you want to go. You don't. You can't ever look at yourself.
Yeah, but no one else views me, so it doesn't. All I got is me.
Your first acting. One of your first acting roles was the whole movie.
Yeah, it wasn't my first acting role, but it was my first.
I don't know why I said that.
Role. It was my first movie role for sure.
That was the biggest part I've ever had, right?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest part we'll ever have. I think it's really.
Wait, that's not. What about the future? You never know. Josh, where's my third act?
It was I came away with exactly what I think happened, which was I was competent in the role, but not exciting. It wasn't a breakthrough.
You can't be the one who says you're exciting, even if you were exciting.
No, but I think I am an objective enough behind the camera person to be able to step outside and go, yeah. I mean, I didn't detract from it with any of my stuff, but I wasn't an exciting. I don't excite people.
Well,
I don't excite people, Andy. It's something I've had to live with. I've had to come to peace with. People do not get excited about J. Elvis Weinstein.
Well, don't talk about yourself like that in the third person. You see, I feel the opposite. I feel like people can't stop getting excited about me. They love me. They love all of my old man problems. It's just sexy. It's sexy to think about my life.
It really is.
No, but I think, but I'm being honest. And one thing I'm going to be sincere about is that I don't think, even if you have the most objective person in the world, you can never be objective about this particular thing.
Well, but I can respond to 35 years of input and stimulus and come to a conclusion.
Right, but you didn't go out for acting I mean, you did everything. You did writing.
I have no regrets. It's just these are the facts.
No, I don't agree with those facts. I think you're so stimulating. I think you're very interesting. And
interesting isn't the question. Exciting is the issue.
Oh, I have to think about that more, but I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is like, that's a hard question to ask about anybody. Is Andy Kindler exciting? Is Josh? It's not the exciting isn't the word. You're saying, I know what you're saying. You're saying, but I'm saying that when you're 80, I expect big things to happen at any time for me. I like a George Burns.
That's good. That's a good way to live.
Yeah. But I could be deluded.
No, still.
Yeah, it's still fun.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I give myself a lot of credit for is that I've lost the ambition thing of like, I just want to have enough, just live. I don't have that burning thing anymore.
Yeah,
which is good.
It is. And it's a young man's game, the burning thing.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody, it might have been my trainer, about, don't you wish you had, because it was like my point. I was saying how I think I'm probably the best, because I'm comfortable in my own skin now, I'm probably the best stand-up I've ever been. And yet, because I'm comfortable in my own skin, I don't need these people's approval anymore. So it's sort of a little trap. And so, she's like, don't you wish you had that comfort as a younger person? I'm like, no, because I think it would have killed off the ambition that I had, and I needed that as a young person,
Right. Yeah. It's a weird thing about just the whole idea of making yourself happy. I don't know. I got lost. Sorry about that. I got lost there in some way. It's almost like the more the problem with life is almost all thinking about it. Like, is this it? Well, it is if you just say, is this it?
Right, exactly. Everything can be self-fulfilling.
Because that happens to me a lot where I go,
everything can suck or be exciting with the exact same information on the table.
Yeah. So as a person with emotional problems, it has really helped me. Maybe the most important thing I've ever done is to slow down and to say to myself, the Nazis are not coming your parents are not coming from the airport to visit you at college, and the Nazis are not coming to round you up. Yeah. Could happen.
If you knocked off 1 and 2 on the list, that's great.
But I didn't realize until I went to therapy how I lived in dread my whole life. It's so simple too. It's just from childhood and being freaked out, and from a family who was freaked out.
Yeah.
And so now I go, I don't have to be freaked out about death. My parents were. Nobody wants to die.
Right.
But I don't have to be anything that I thought, like, to me, I was scared of death because to me, it'd be like the whole day of death. They go, okay, this is it, Andy, your last day. What do you want to do? You want to play some golf? In other words, like when there's 24 hours left, that always seemed like the worst thing. But
nobody does.
Right.
Unless you have a scheduled assisted suicide.
Yeah, which
or self-suicide scheduled, I guess. You don't need assistance, really.
I'm not going to say the names, but I was just thinking about this story. I'll tell you later or something. But I was like, the friend of theirs, they all the person wanted to die, right? And it had a horrible, long condition, and so the day of the thing, and the person told this story on a podcast about how, and then she didn't really want to die at one, but we had to. It's almost like she started to complain, and then they didn't listen to her.
Really?
Like, fellas,
we're going through with this.
Yes, because they had prearranged that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
I think, yeah. Kind of veered into murder territory there, didn't it?
And I just had that image in my mind of like everybody going, you said you were going to do this.
Right.
So I don't know. I'll tell you later, but then you probably won't care.
I might care.
You might care.
Gosh.
That's one of my worst traits is to assume what people are going to say, react, and it's always a negative thing. You probably will say, get the fuck out of here with that stupid story.
Why would you tell me that name?
Yeah. That I have learned from therapy, that nobody thinks as poorly of me as I do in those situations.
No, the next step is just no one thinks of you, period, really. That's where I found my peace.
Now I'm into that zone where I know he's going to hang up on me. And what do you do?
Well, now you're into the self-fulfilling prophecy zone, really.
Yeah, but I don't.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see what an hour is.
Well, because I was telling, how did people? They were asking me, how do you know? I said, well, I look at a clock. You don't think that makes me a genius? Just do it already, because you're driving me nuts with the. Maybe you have done it already. No, I'm very angry at myself. Why does it have to be an hour? It could be longer.
It could be, because I could take out 20 minutes of this shit.
No, I mean, we could keep going. This might be when we really hit our stride.
It might be. No.
Loves me like a rock.
A few more times.
Loves me like a rock.
Couple more.
Loves me like a rock.
One really good one.
Loves me like a rock.
Thank you very much.
Whatever you do, we can't talk today about, don't bring up the fact that women's right to an abortion will be made illegal, interracial marriage. I just tweeted that Clarence Thomas wants interracial marriage to be illegal. Very convenient. It's funny when you're a man and you can't be, nothing can happen to your body.
That old battle axe.
It's not good, Josh.
How do you shed 150 pounds of treasonous fat?
Honey, what do you want me to do? It's the law. He could be the worst. And you said that he was your hero. That's the thing. You said that Thurgood Marshall was your hero,
right,
and Clarence Thomas was your hero.
It's a direct line. It's a direct line.
I have, wait a second. Hold on a second. From your text the other day. Your text, this is from Josh Elvis.
I like how you're even miming this now. You're even miming looking up a text.
Just reminding you, Mondays at 10:30 and Fridays at 10:30. Up and at 'em, suck ass. I'm switching from fuckface to suck ass.
I kind of like fuckface better. I really do.
No, suck ass fuckface has a certain finality. I really am sad.
I think it just has alliteration going for it, really.
That's right. I thought we weren't performing today. It's not performing, but I thought, why didn't you didn't post? You've never not posted. No, sometimes you think maybe you thought we had enough going on.
No, it was not that well considered. I've just been super busy.
I can't believe it though. To me, if you wanted me to say, is Josh dead? Has something happened to him? I would say, did he not ask for questions? I have not seen you never cover every detail. I don't know what I'm doing. The bit's bad. Yeah. Sorry.
I dropped the ball. If you want me to just say, I dropped the ball. There. Are you happy? I dropped the ball.
Look at those crazy Muppet eyes. I never saw you have Muppet eyes before.
I'm selling it.
Well, you know what? I'm sad about it. I'm upset about it. But you know what? There's another part of
Okay, I didn't post the question. Oh, you mean the abortion.
Oh God, it's gonna be a wild one this year. The election.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. So let's put that aside because I have some funny anecdotes about cheese.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with tweezers?
You can't use them to perform an abortion anymore. Oh wait, I went back. Sorry.
I think you're going to. Are you going to take that one out? Don't take it out.
I won't take it out.
Because we're radicals now. Kind of.
Yeah, could you tilt down? This is a little too radical for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's a director
At least
thing.
I have a higher...
I know it's pretentious, but it's a director thing. I just can't look at a frame like that.
Well, it's also... I got a book here, so that's good.
That's good.
Things are coming up now. I'm putting some money towards...
It looks like... at least it doesn't look like you're looking down into your pupik.
Well, you have to admit Yiddish. Why wouldn't you admit it? The greatest. Just the greatest. What else could you say except it's a pupik?
Yes.
I'm very depressed. But you know what, though, Josh? I shouldn't be depressed because it should be...
Because your wife is postmenopausal.
Oh.
No, it's just it's an absolute horror.
Yeah, there's no way to sell it nicely.
No. Come on, people, let's vote.
No crying.
There is no
There's
crying in abortion politics. Yes.
You know what? The only way to overcome something like this is not
banter, witty banter.
Hey, well, 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. All this morning, what's your favorite illegal abortion stories are? Come on.
Yeah, it's the depressing thing is it's like there is the simple answer, which is, the other side got this way by voting for 40 years straight, since the Reagan era. So the answer is, of course, everyone has to vote. But of course, the other answer is, but it might take 40 years to get it back.
Well, I think it's going to be a state by state thing. Isn't that what it's going to be? It's not going to be illegal in New York.
No.
So look, poor people. Look, I know we have a lot of poor listeners. Judging by our buy me a coffees recently.
I think you should probably move from rural Mississippi to Manhattan.
Yes. All I'm saying is, this happens. These things happen. You have to put money aside when you're poor for these kind of. Oh God. Oh Josh, I'll tell you. Oh Josh. Thank God I have rich brothers. That's all I'm saying. That I can be. And my friends.
I thank God for your brother every day.
Yes, that my friends, at least my poor friends around the world. I was with some people last night who we had dinner. I went for dinner for the first time in a long time, and they were. I'm not going to say who they were because of the story I'm going to bring up. But they know Jimmy Dore, like the wife of our friends knows that Stephanie from way back in the Groundling days. She's from the Groundlings.
Yeah.
And so I forgot what we're saying.
Jimmy Dore.
Oh, they've been friends forever with these, and they just did. This is like a recent change over the last 2 years that they went from progressives to, Jimmy Dore and raking the money.
Insane, yes.
And he's raking the money. I mean, he really is, because when I was talking to them last night, they were not as familiar with like the politics part of it, because it wouldn't be something if they're just not aware of it.
Yes.
And so with him, they didn't know that this was happening with him.
Yeah.
So they just thought it was like, they had some discussion with him a year and a half ago, and he was like, but back then they had an argument a couple of years ago because he was so angry at Jimmy Dore was so angry at David Mamet's turn to the right.
My last conversation with Jimmy Dore was a huge fight about Jill Stein and how it wasn't time to fuck around with Trump running.
Yeah, he covered the Mark Rich. He early on covered the Mark Rich thing. For those who don't remember, Mark Rich was the DNC employee who was killed by just a random. And this family begged the Republicans, stop saying that our kid was killed as part of some kind of political thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
No, he went. Jimmy went the Alex Jones route on his persona. But
he's such an opportunist that early on he was he was famous for having not famous. He was never famous for a stand-up, but he was famous for having spit on Alex. He spit on Alex Jones once at something. Yeah. And he was a regular.
And then he became him.
Right. So
remember that, folks. Whoever you spit on, you become.
Well, he may be. You may have not.
Isn't that right, Jay?
Jay Leno?
Yes.
Whatever you spit on,
you become.
Become.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm saying you're Jay Leno.
Oh no. That's not nice. Josh, this guy. Oh God, even doing Jay Leno is not cheering me up today.
Oh no.
Nothing else matters to me, but I'm going to try and think of.
Hey, will you call your brother and have him give a bunch of money to Planned Parenthood today?
I will.
Okay. give a nice chunk.
I can't talk to my brother about politics. We don't ever talk about politics anymore, which is good. I mean, I'm not saying he's in favor of this crap.
Right.
But since we've stopped talking about politics,
the money flows flows like honey.
Now you've gone too far now, Josh. I'm going to make a note right now.
He's sticking.
What too far is?
He's sticking to trickle down economics.
Well, look, I know my brother is my mother had an abortion. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
So did mine.
Have I mentioned that?
Mine.
We mentioned that before.
We have, yes. No, mine did too.
I mean, it's just unbelievable to me. I mean, sure, my mother was wrong. No, I could have had an older, someone even older than my sister could have been in the family. And what if she hadn't liked me, like my sister loved me because I was a little doll?
All right.
That wouldn't have been good.
No.
Make everything personal.
Although it would have helped my brother probably to be a middle child instead of the first.
Right. I mean, facts are facts.
Yes.
But when my mother had, I think it was, I forget what was, it wasn't legal and I don't remember. It wasn't, I don't know if it was even fully legal. Don't go after her because she has so little, leave her alone.
That's right.
At this point. But it's just incredible.
She already rode her fire pole to hell.
Oh, by the way, my brother did a wonderful thing. He put in a beautiful rose garden at the Quaker Meeting House.
Yeah, you told me about that.
The Joan Kindler. What's that?
You did tell me about that. That's great. That's really nice.
It's coming in today.
Good.
So it's being unveiled today.
Yeah.
Like
did they
plaque.
Did they wait till it was in bloom to unveil it?
I didn't even think about that. Do you plant rose? I remember my mother. See, my mother, she didn't do a lot herself.
Yeah.
But she got everybody else to do. Oh, the gardening. Andy, why don't you pick this thing up and bring it over there? But she would plant tulips every year, and they were already tuliped, right? Something when you plant roses, do you plant?
I think you plant tulip. You plant tulip bulbs, actually.
Oh, God damn it! I knew that was right. And then they don't come up the next season, right? They don't come up.
I don't know.
The next
I really
year.
don't know.
Okay. So I know she was involved in that. But when you plant roses, do you normally plant rose bushes?
Yes.
Or do you plant
rose bushes?
Yes. You don't have little roses like, oh, they're going to come up in 5 years.
No, it's not like asparagus.
Sometimes I think it's a bit how stupid I am. And then sometimes I think maybe I could have, if they had given me a course in something. You know what I mean? Like they provided me with information.
I understand.
I mean, most people are not.
You're talking to a man who dropped out of college to do a puppet show, for God's sakes. I know something about having gaps in
you dropped out of college because you already knew that, though. You did.
I'm doing it. By the way, I'm doing the puppet show tonight. I did a double cameo as both my human and puppet character in this episode that's premiering tonight, and I'm going to do the post-show Zoom thing. For Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, cool. Oh, for the Mads? Is it the Mads? No.
No, it's Mystery Science Theater.
Who are the Mads? And why?
That's Trace and Frank.
Oh, okay. They're in my calendar. They're in my grill. They're up into my grill because we were on that show once.
Yeah, and now they send us free passes to each show.
That's nice.
Yes.
I don't watch anything. I'm very busy with my own projects.
I can't watch other people riff. It's just something that's...
that you can't do. You cannot do that. No, you read the highlight reel would be good.
Yeah.
And so what else is in the news? Nothing?
No, I got my mother-in-law's memorial tomorrow, so I'm
oh, wow.
I'm cramming as I edit her magnum opus photo montage that I'm making.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I spent like the last 2 days solid doing it because once I start something like that, suddenly I'm a director again.
Yes. So, without the perks, maybe.
So just digging through hip deep in 90 years worth of photographs.
Oh, my God.
She had a good time. I mean, no one takes pictures of the bad times. Hey, we're having a fight. Let's take a picture. People don't do that. So most of the things left over are good times, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
So like when suffrage came through, all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
How old was your mother-in-law?
She was 90 when she died. She was born in 31.
Wow. 31. And that still seems young to me because my parents were 26 and 29.
Yeah.
26 and 29. When were they? Yeah, something like that. The point is that everybody should be concerned with how I'm aging and how I'm.
Everyone is concerned about how you're aging, Andy.
No, come on. I've had some work done, not on my act. Not on my act.
That was one of my mother-in-law's funniest lines. When she was 75, she had breast cancer and she had a mastectomy. And I'm in there, and the doctor's talking to her and telling her about the procedures. Like, and then, you know, when we're done, we can talk about reconstruction surgery. And she's like, I'm 75. She said it's super Irish too. I'm 75. If you want to talk about my face, we can talk about that. But
well, he had a whole plan. He had a whole plan down there.
Yeah.
So in other words, instead of your vagina aging normally, like we used to like it in the old days,
what
now
are you talking about, vaginas?
Somehow I thought this was about vaginas.
What are you talking about?
What is this about?
I said breast cancer, and then I said mastectomy.
I'm not laughing at breast cancer.
Yes, you are.
At me. I'm such a fucking... I thought it was vaginal reconstruction. That would be even worse, right?
It would.
Worse idea?
It would, and I doubt the doctor would have proposed it.
unless he was a come online.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be involved with.
Please dig deeper into my mother-in-law's vagina, will you, please?
I know, this is just so terrible. Well, thank God Allison never listens to this show.
It is a good thing.
Oh, my God.
On a lot of levels.
I am, that was bad. That made me laugh.
I can't recover from this. It's time for questions.
Okay, let's do it.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle says, what kind of laundry dryer sheets do you fellas use? I can answer that quickly. I don't use them anymore. I used to love them because I thought they would take away static cling, but now I just don't use them anymore.
Yeah.
Dryer sheets.
Yeah.
I think they're bad for the environment.
Are they?
I think.
I don't use them because I'm lazy when I do my laundry, but Allison uses them. We do our laundry separately here in this house. So.
That's right. That's one of the things that's cool about you two.
I guess.
Yeah.
But Bounce is the...
Bounce would be my preferred.
I'm big on not using generics and those sorts of things, on things that actually require R&D from the company.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I don't want to use the bargain brand for that.
There's something,
I also don't want to use the balls. The what?
Something's fine. Not when there's science.
Right. But you use those, I tried the balls for a
the
little
pods or the balls?
No, they're like little red rubber balls that you're supposed to put in the thing, and I don't know how they work.
No, I haven't done that.
Yeah, they have like spikes on them.
I'm not having trouble with any facet of my laundry. I don't need a spiked ball.
I don't like it.
I don't need to mace my laundry.
Well, that makes sense. But I used to go down to Florida to visit my grandmother, and the entire state was a static. I mean, I almost died several times from the static charge.
That's weird because it's very humid there. You would think dryness generally causes static.
I don't know. I don't know what operated.
I'm sorry.
What?
Huh? BD West says, Josh, I'm curious if you and Maria Bamford crossed paths as teenage performers. Also, what's in the Minnesota water that produces such masters of mimicry? I did. I mean, I wasn't a teen, and I don't think she was either when we crossed paths, but she was sort of starting in the early 90s when I was about to leave town. So when I met her, in fact, she just posted a picture the other day of herself in that era when she still had a shaved head, and she was working for this Star Trek trade show, live Star Trek kind of thing during the day.
I don't remember when she had a shaved head. I wouldn't remember.
No,
that,
it was
right?
in Minnesota when she was. Still,
oh yeah,
when she was still a local.
But I mean, she had it all the time.
Yeah, you can't really pick and choose once you shave your head when you have it.
No, I mean, like she had it for a year. I mean, I just never. It doesn't even seem what she would look like that way.
Yeah, that's what she looked like.
Wow. And for some reason, I forgot that she had spent time in Minneapolis.
Yes, that is her comedy birthplace.
Because I'm also friends with Mary Mack, who's from Minneapolis, who people compare to Maria Bamford, but she's not like Maria Bamford. She just happens to be from
She's a little like Maria Bamford.
Right, but Yeah, she also comes by, who cares? She comes by it honestly in a way.
Sure, I'm not saying she's mimicking. I'm just saying she's kind of like her.
Exactly right. BD West also says, speaking of Paul Feig, why can't every movie be Spy? I don't even know what that movie is. I love Paul Feig. Is that the female? Is it the lady he has in many movies?
It was Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, I believe. And
so is BD West saying that he loved that movie? Is that what they're saying?
Unless he's being super sarcastic. I don't think so, but I think he's saying he loved the movie. It was a funny movie. I watched it because Paul had Hodgson and Trace and I riff on it for the DVD.
Oh, that's cool.
It was kind of cool, but it was like it turned into a drag because it was like the studio had to change one of my jokes, which I had no stake in, and yet I still had to like go down to Sony and do an ADR session to do a different. It's like, just take the joke out. I don't care.
Yeah, just take it out.
So, no, I had to do a replacement.
Man, yeah. I mean, I think I saw a couple scenes from it when it was.
And it was an NRA joke too. That was what they made me take out.
The one that was alienate the NRA people.
Apparently, that was their problem. Literally, that was their problem.
Yeah, was that the one movie right after Bridesmaids? Kind of.
It was. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 after Bridesmaids.
1 or 2 after.
I think it was also the last time I saw Paul Feig too, in person.
Wow, that's a lot of years.
Yes.
Well, that's not good. We got to see Paul Feig again. I miss Paul Feig. You do this one because it's a question from me.
Dagobert of Tacoma says, question for Andy. Would he like to be free of his flesh prison and travel the universe as an incandescent ball of energy?
I would, yeah. No, I mean...
I think of him more as a spiked dryer ball.
Yes. That's not an exciting image. Like a plastic ball going through space. I don't know. This is a little too esoteric for me, that question. I can't answer it. I refuse to answer it. Right. Dan Marsh says, hey, guys, what's the earliest recording? You heard what I said. Hey, guys, what's the earliest recording you have of yourself doing stand-up, and how does listening to it make you feel? Luckily, we did not have a lot of these devices around. So the only times that I can see early stand-up is anything I did for Rascals Comedy Hour. That's the earliest I could see. Because I didn't take a reel-to-reel with me or to the clubs or a old camcorder.
I think I was probably 16 in my earliest video that I have, and it something just is giving me a static here. Hold on. Boom. Now we're on Zoom.
Oh, can people join us along if they want to ask questions?
Just be careful. Now we have to be very good choosing our words because I can't really edit Zoom like I can separate.
Okay, got it.
Oh, and an answer to Dan Marsh. I have about 16 years old, and I forgive myself because I'm 16 years old when I say it.
Yeah.
Warp Searhead says, Les Miserables loves company. The story of a lonely theater student who remains alone will find a connection with a community theater director, and they fall in love and never laugh again. The end. Who's in? Fine. Let's hear your brilliant idea.
I got a little confused by that question. I don't really understand that question. Maybe it's because of the technical problems. My brain is working even less.
I read it as, for each of you, what is your pay grade?
Oh, no. That's not, I was talking about Warp Searhead. No, I got that.
Warp Searhead didn't require any sort of response other than...
Oh, okay. For each of you, what is your pay grade? Mason, Inside Joke Silence says, for each of you, what is your pay grade? It happens to be one of my least favorite things when people say it's above my pay. It's just a hacky thing when they say it. It never sounds like, it always sounds like you're just using an expression because you don't want to say anything else.
Right.
It's above my pay grade.
Well, then I'm not going to answer.
Why, is that below your pay grade? All right. C. Christopher Hart says, hey, Andy, season's greetings. I have no idea what that means. You have to.
You talked about a piece of Christmas animation that you loved as a kid, and he suspects that this is it. I suspect it probably is too.
Should I do it or not? Yeah, not now.
You can look, you can tell us next week.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll totally remember.
I can't pronounce Christopher Simar. Is that how you pronounce it?
Then I can't either.
Christopher Simar says, every time you read a question from Christopher Citro, it sounds similar enough to my name that I panic. Should I change my name to Michelle Weiscover, Tom the Tom, or a third thing? I think you should change your name to or a third thing. Wouldn't that be fun?
It would.
For a half a minute?
A third thing, TM. Dan Wade says, even though I don't know much about The Godfather, I'm enjoying watching The Offer. I especially enjoyed when a young Randy Newman pitched Robert Evans a theme song, Tight Ass Italians.
Is that a good movie?
The Offer is a TV series about the making of The Godfather.
Oh. I think it's going to be like 5 years from now. I think I'm going to have a teacher's assistant or a nurse's aide help me because of the references.
Yes.
Jason, sentimental hygiene, pardon? Right?
Yeah, nice work.
You two are lucky the podcast guild isn't putting this on. And for that matter, so is the guild. Why, we could get in trouble? That's his reference to my joke about the people, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Huh.
Isn't it?
I don't see the connection, but
my thing was like Lee Harvey Oswald had to be Lee Harvey Oswald because there was already a Lee Oswald in the Murderers Guild.
Ah, okay. Maybe it is.
You know what? You have to excuse my egomania because of time restrictions. You can't comment on every time I'm an egomaniac.
It was a solid tweet. I'll give you that. Yeah.
We had Wickle. Oh, don't call me Boops, he says. Pickles more like Wickles. Am I right? I got nothing. Get me out of this, Josh, by playing Magic Carpet Ride by Steppenwolf. I really love that entire. I love it. I feel that was my favorite. He wins a T-shirt.
And that's
please.
Without knowing any of the two references they're using. So that's pretty good. Diamond Road says, I've been randomly singing the question segments jingle for the past week. It's stuck in my head. Any earworm stuck on the brain lately? Oh, every day I have an earworm. It takes me nothing to get a song in my head, and it takes me everything to get it out. But I don't think there's a time in my life where I don't have something on repeat in my head somewhere.
Every time I have it, it's terrible. I'm doing the cocaine bit in my head. It's always a bad song. Why does it have to be a terrible thing? Why would your mind? Because it's the earworm. It has its own.
There's a reason they call it a hook.
I think I'm laughing because maybe I'm scared now.
And by the way, I've done it to myself too. I can't hear the phrase type 2 diabetes without hearing my type 2 diabetes jingle. So.
I'm very scared that I'm hearing you rattling around, so I hope it sounds okay because it doesn't sound good in my ear that well. Right now.
Then that's a problem. But
we just keep going?
I guess. I mean,
well, it sounds okay.
I have no trouble believing that there's a rattle in your ear. So
no, but it's kind of like it's like a delay.
I don't know. I don't know what
Stephen Elton Yates says, I think we should read the questions faster. Stephen Elton Yates says, guys, have you ever checked out the old Smothers Brothers show? Steve Martin, Bob Weinstein, Pat Paulson. Pretty funny stuff. Some of it still holds up. IMO and great music from the likes of George Harrison. I even have the greatest of the Smothers Brothers on DVD. And again, I would be lying if I said I've seen a lot of the show. I haven't seen that much of the show. I remember Pat Paulson, all of his appearances, because I think they were like, maybe they weren't all on that show. They were on other shows too. Pat Paulson.
Well, Pat Paulson was making the rounds, but he got his start definitely on Smothers Brothers in terms of going big. I
remember watching everything that he did thinking he was hilarious.
Yeah. I I have seen not a ton of Smothers Brothers stuff, but I like the Smothers Brothers show, and it does hold up better than I see. Your next question is about Laugh-In. And he says, I was sad to see the old Laugh-In show did not age well at all. The jokes about race are particularly cringeworthy. Nixon famously did a guest spot presaging the appearance by Trump on SNL by half a century.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think Smothers Brothers stuff holds up way better than Laugh-In, because Laugh-In was just a vaudeville show, really. With modern, visuals. But the comedy was like pure vaudeville. Whereas Smothers Brothers was using comedy writers to write comedy pieces, and it was a blend. And, I think Laugh-In was mostly old guys, and I think Smothers Brothers was using a blend of old and young.
But when I was a kid, though, I did love Dan, the Rowan and Martin.
Well, I mean, it's not a question of whether it was good at the time. It's a question of whether it's good now, and it's not.
Yeah. I have to watch it again, which I won't do. Mauricio Haybert says, recently finished second season of Russian Doll, and it totally deserves a good old Josh and Andy inspection, perusal, validation. I'm well aware that the sporadic duo, we've earned the freedom to watch whatever they do, please. But come on, it's the most Jewish Netflix show ever. I've confused myself with a bad reading of the question. My personal pet theory.
He's saying watch Russian Doll, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I love that. First, I just haven't had a chance to watch the second year.
I haven't watched any of it, but it's high on my list of stuff that I intend to.
The first season was amazing, and I'm planning to watch the second. I really like her. I think she's hilarious. Okay, you go next, John.
Larry Morrissey says, Josh, did you listen to or go to any shows by the renowned Twin Cities bands active during your teenage years, like the Replacements, Husker Du, Soul Asylum, or the Jayhawks? I saw both Replacements and Husker Du at various times. The real problem was just I didn't have a fake ID, and they tended to play places that carded hard. So once I became sort of local celebrity-ish, then I could get into more places, but they were kind of gone by that time. So so street
timing,
like street fairs were kind of the place you ended up seeing those bands sometimes. But I never did see Soul Asylum or the Jayhawks play live.
I like the Jayhawks a lot. I don't know much about Soul Asylum. Husker Du, Husker Du is the guy who I think I got to meet on Letterman. He has a solo act too. What is it, Bob Moore? Mold. Yeah. All right. That really. Hey, Andy, you really added to it.
And it's Husker Du, by the way, not Husker.
Why would I say? I think I knew it was Husker Du. I think I'm nervous, so I'm going to mess up everything.
Well, they didn't put the umlauts in. So.
Tweet. Josh, it really wasn't just a show. We really worried about that nice, laconic Hodgson boy, and we loved those little scamps at his side, trying to stave off panic and loneliness with humor during those awful movies. Tweet Bahara is like he's reaching a new level of writing.
Well, he's what you don't understand is that he's parsing the Mystery Science Theater theme song with his questions here. His second question is, Josh, why was it important to keep in mind Joel couldn't control when the movies begin or ended? Never could figure that one out. Thanks. Tweet is back, baby.
Well, that's part of this premise, isn't it?
Yes, but the reason why it's important for you to keep in mind is that we wanted to keep the feeling that Joel was never voluntarily watching these movies, because then you're like, well, why just turn them the fuck off, asshole? If you're bitching about it, just turn it the fuck off.
Right, he has to be forced.
So that's why that sentiment is there.
That's very good. Suvit said, is Ernest T. Bass the spiritual father of Cosmo Kramer? Is that the Cosmo Kramer who played when they had the duplicate episode? Or is it Kramer's name is Cosmo, his first name?
Kramer's name is Cosmo.
It's so hard post the racial stuff with Kramer, but I do believe that he was a great character, and Ernest. But I don't see the similarity between Ernest T. Bass and him.
I think just outsider thinker.
That guy was hilarious. What was his name? Morris.
Yeah, Howard Morris.
Yeah. Take it away, Josh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Or comment.
No, I was going to read the next one, and now I'm all flustered from your interview.
No, please don't be flustered. My apologies to you and yours.
Our sound is terrible, by the way. So
here's what I'm going to tell you. I've already heard podcasts like this because if you say, please excuse, everybody won't have much of a problem with it. It's not that bad.
All right.
Just a little delay.
Okay. It's not the delay that's the problem, really.
It's the commercials?
It's the Joshua Cohn. Elvis. I recently watched the movie Miracle starring Kurt Russell as U.S. Olympic coach Herb Brooks and was wondering what you thought of Russell's St. Paul accent.
Wyoming.
What is IYO? Oh, in your
opinion.
Yeah. Which non-Minnesotan actor has done the most convincing on-screen Minnesota accent? I don't know. I mean, Frances McDormand did pretty well. Did better than Bill Macy.
Oh, I never even thought about that. What his was like.
Yeah, his was a little bit off, I thought.
But it was so watchable. I never thought about it though.
If you ever watch my short film, The Mediocre Samaritan, on YouTube, there's a couple of Victoria Kelleher and Joe Keys are both doing pretty darn good Minnesotans.
Oh, that'd be cool. I haven't seen that even. What do you?
Really? You've never?
Yeah.
What
I've never even heard of it.
Wow.
Send it around.
You have totally heard of it, and my feelings are hurt now.
You know what it is? It sounds like a modem is what our voices sound like when the modem goes ka-dong, dong, dong. So I was wrong. It's not a delay. It is more annoying than that, but I still think it's got an interesting lilt. Mike Parrish says, have either one of you or someone you know ever had to go commando? What unfortunate event led to going sans drawers? I've never had to. I haven't had. I don't know. If I've had to go commando, I don't want to tell what the story would be.
Yeah, it's not the kind of story Andy likes to talk about.
There's a little smile on your face.
Well, it's like he's asking for a shit your pants story, really.
I know. Well, you can.
I've never had to go commando. I've chosen to go commando.
Well, I have to tell you something. When I first heard people say it, I was like, that sounds great. No underwear and your penis rubbing around against your hard jeans.
Yes.
Please, Mom. Please let me.
It just the pure level of zipper protection.
Yeah.
Is enough.
Right. And I have a large penis. It's not. It's flaccid.
Sure.
Please don't go commando.
Seth Thick III says, which one is Rizzoli and which one is Isles? Isles is the better actor, and Rizzoli, I don't know which one it is.
I don't either.
Two guys.
Eastside 76 says, change it to Eastside 76 degrees in downtown Los Angeles.
I have to admit, I saw this earlier, and it made me laugh in the middle of the night. Eastside 76 degrees in downtown Los Angeles today. Eastside 76 degrees. Eastside, the official Mexican of the thought spiral. It's a Mexican. He kind of likes that thought spiral. What do you think?
I'm a little hurt that Dana Schwartz didn't hear his birthday shout out last. I didn't hear anything about his birthday shout out on last week's show.
Maybe he's upset.
Maybe.
I says J. Elvis and A Kind. Anyone ever
call
you that?
Someone has written I is using emojis as part of his text, which is really helpful.
Which is great for me. J. Elvis and A Kind. Has anyone ever called you that? A Kind.
Let me read this.
Yeah, why don't you read it?
All right. J. Elvis and A Kind. Anyone ever call you that? What figures of fame, movie or otherwise, stand out as surreal sense memories that you may have encountered? Dana Gould said doing radio with Bob Hope or doing comedy maybe with Bob Hope was akin to working with a dark crystal Muppet.
Well, like I have to get a Morse code translator. People call you J. Elvis all the time.
Yes, I think they meant a kind.
I call myself Kind. I'm Andy Kind, your kind of comedian. Take me out of my misery. And I mean,
just answer the question. Why don't you just answer the goddamn question?
Oh, I can see you're angry there. I can see. Oh, what's the matter? 2 hours of technical problems has made you a little testy? Okay, let me see if I can recover. Yeah, they call me. I don't understand the question. They call me A Kind. Is that good?
No, that's not the question. The real question. That was a parenthetical question. The question is, what celebrity encounter has stood out as surreal to you?
Oh, the Jay Leno one. There's nothing you can't get more ridiculous than walking with someone across the street and pretending with Jay Leno that you're walking under the freeway. That was the worst thing of my life, I think.
I don't really quite remember what you're talking about there.
Oh, Jay Leno was near when Susan was living on Cahuenga. Jay Leno, the woman of the person who was having the shoot, the photography shoot, said, "Hey, Jay Leno is right down the street with one of those crazy cars. Who wants to go look?" And I thought it'd be funny to go look, but then I didn't realize that she started asking me about Leno and what I thought about Leno, and I said I don't like it. And then so she walked right up to Jay Leno to say, "Oh, that's," and I walked past them under the freeways if I didn't know who they were. And then, "That's the guy who hates me." I had to come back. "That's the guy who hates me." And then Jay Leno said to me, and she goes, "What?" She was crazy. She goes, "Why do you hate Leno?" I was just like, he goes, No, it's okay to hate. Okay to hate. You never heard that story? You had to have heard that story.
I don't think I have, no.
Wow. I didn't tell it well because I thought you had heard it a million times.
Yeah, you were trying to catch me up rather than tell me the story.
Yeah. Catch you up stories aren't very good. All right. Christopher Citro says, in David Starris's new book, he tells his sister Amy about a woman discovered in the parking lot of a Walmart drunk and riding around in one of those mobility scooters drinking wine out of a Pringles can. What's your guy's preference? Red or white? Original or barbecue? This certainly has made me think that, I don't know if I told you this, but like in David, a couple of books back, David Sedaris was like mixing fiction with, he was obviously mixing fiction with real, and I started to go, oh my God, are all those stories manipulated? It actually bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I thought of all of his stories as not being manipulated. I mean, manipulated for humor, but all based on real things. I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, that's the danger.
That's the danger of getting into somebody?
No, that's the danger that he's playing with. Once you start blending the two, it does undermine your whole thing.
It does undermine your thing.
Although I don't think he has any obligation to be journalistic.
I love David Sedaris, but I was like, all of a sudden something like clicked on me, like, oh, because I had really been listening to them with like every story has Amy doing something weird or him. I always just never thought it was exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate myself. I hate life.
The one of the physical therapy kids, as I like to call them, was asking me about if comics have to tell the truth, essentially. And I was like, no, we have absolutely no journalistic obligation nor integrity.
And unless like some comics do try to insist it's a real story, then they
can, yeah, that's fine. But
who's your friend?
It's not necessary.
Who's your friend who passed? Southern guy? Didn't he make up stories?
Ron Schock?
Yeah.
He embellished stories, certainly.
Well, that's normal. That's Southern. Yeah. That's just
but
Southern.
No, he was sort of was steadfast about this is absolutely true. You know.
You know what? I would like you to read the last question from Chaotic. Is your last question, Chaotic Neutral?
It is.
All right, go ahead.
Hallelujah to the end of bad sound.
It sounds a little bit better recently.
It's just because you can see the end. Chaotic Neutral says the news has been so bad lately, I now look forward to the commercials. What do you say? Can you give us James Mason shilling for Medicare Advantage? Gregory Peck hawking brain pills. The BTK killer selling a third product.
Don't go with the BTK.
I won't. I can't do that.
But I would recommend that everybody call in and find out what your zip code is. It's imperative you call to look up your zip code.
I called last year, and I called again with my zip code.
Or as Jimmy Walker would say, maybe you can get some money.
He should be better at commercial pitches, shouldn't he?
He should have prepared himself for a life of it, but
I would love to have the balls to hang up on you today, but I'm afraid that
you can't even hang up with this. I have to. You know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
I'm going to spite you in post and put the hang up sound in.
No, that's. I thought it was vaginal reconstruction.